offset part 2 for anything print and cut. And I'm going to tell you, if you're following me, you saw the first video of this. Thank you. Love you guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what else you're struggling with and want to learn, and I'll make a video. Right now, I'm going to make Wednesday. And Wednesday, if you notice, when I go to make it, you're going to see it's going to be a print and cut. So your printer is going to print it. You're going to put it on your Cricut mat and it'll cut it, aside from all the other cuts that we did previously. So these are like the decals, and or if you're making separate HTV names. But another way that you can look at how it's going to cut is you can go to your options in the operations, where you can change the color. Instead of changing color, do basic instead of print and cut. And here you're going to see the edges are kind of jagged, and it will also help you see if there's any hollow areas within your cut before you start cutting. So that's just a little tip there. So what I like to do is for stickers, for toppers, for anything that has to do with printing and cutting, even if it's for a shirt, if you add any text, here's what it will look like. I'm adding Wednesday under her, and I'm going to turn it into a lavender. But I want you to understand that once you do that, that does not mean that that's how it's going to print and cut. If you hit make it, you're going to go and you're going to see Wednesday by herself, and then each cut, including Wednesday, on a lavender mat. If you flatten it by highlighting both, you're still going to see it together, but D, A, and Y will be cutting individually. So my tip here is add an offset to your whole picture, and you can make it as thick or as thin as you want. I end up settling at 0.25, I believe. And I think on this one, instead of making it bubbly like I did in the first video, I'm actually going to make it squared off so you can see the difference. It's really to your preference and what look you're going for. So I'm going to do that. And while I'm still on it, I can actually still change the color. So I can change it to a black, and look at how cute that looks. Now, it still will not attach it. You have to flatten the black part too. So I keep going back to the mat so you can see where you can catch your mistake or where you have still the time to go fix it. All right, there we go. Now, I don't like how Wednesday kind of blends into the picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the flatten, which you still can do, and I'm going to add an offset to Wednesday, the name. So I am adding a much thinner offset, and here I'm going to choose, I think it's 0.05, which I accidentally did. There we go. I think I increased it a bit, and then I'm happy with it. And the reason I want that is because I want to add a little dimension to it. So I add white and I hit apply. You don't see it because it's all the way in the back. So send everything to the back, bring it up to the front. You know, this part should be a little easy on how to bring them to where it's actually set. So I'm going to send Wednesday to the back herself, and then send the black part back. I mean, it's a lot of playing with it. It's okay. I'm not the best at it, but that's why I don't edit it. I show you it's still a struggle, but you're going to get it. Now, if I were to hit make it, everything would be separate. The black, the picture of Wednesday, the lavender, the white. So I do this here to show you how to highlight everything. Make sure you highlight everything and flatten it. Now, I'm going to show you one other thing using the same image, because I wanted to show you what we did earlier in checking how it's going to cut. So if we wanted to do this image, but we went ahead and added an offset to her, and we did similar to how we did Jessica in the last video where we added that row that we sliced out, we're going to do that same technique, but I'm going to show you what's going to happen. You add two offsets, one a little thinner, the other one a little thicker. You change the color. I'm going to change this one and add an additional offset to be the outside. Okay, so now we have two offsets to the one Wednesday. So if you notice here again, if you try to slice through all three, it's going to stop you. Slice disappears. So I move Wednesday herself out of it, highlight it, and now slice comes up because now you only have two images. All right. So when I center her under this offset, I'm going to turn it black and just, you can flatten. That's not a problem. What's going to happen though is when you go to cut, you're going to see that it's going to cut around Wednesday and then around the purple itself. And again, this is how we check. We go to where it says print then cut, change it to basic, change it to any color you want. And now you see that white line, it's going to actually cut through there. So this to remind you, add an additional offset to the outside of your whole image. Even if you want it to be white, that's fine. But this will make sure that it does one cut on your image. And I'm going to delete that one. And here we go again. Add the offset. You can turn it white. I, in this scenario, turned it, I think, a light gray, just so that you can see it through. But keep in mind, anytime that you have any offset, if there's any hollow, make sure you contour that out. So you hit contour, it eliminates it. Now it makes it a pure solid image. I'm going to turn it a light gray so it doesn't totally disappear when I do white. And I'm going to center it by using my align. And once you center it and flatten it together, now you are sure it's going to cut all together. So Wednesday will cut together. Wednesday and this last image that we did will cut together. Everything else will be cutting on its original mat. So follow for the next